and it flows. It flows. Flows perfectly. But it's not just that. It's musicals, it's plays, it's books, it's people, it's times, it's dates, it's a lot of time periods, movies. It's awesome. Yeah. So I was teaching drama at Logan Middle School. No wonder they call me gay. I was a drama teacher. Okay, but after about 3 years, okay, extra credit here. Finally made one laugh here. You know.
That's just funny.
Yeah. I was like, I got 2 bachelor's degrees. I have a music degree and a history degree. And then I got married, and then my wife gave me the 3rd degree. But anyways, it wasn't helping me get any more money. I waited too long to become a teacher, and I've got high schoolers, and I'm like, I need more money. And so I need a master's. I started working on a master's, and I hated it. And just one thing led to another, and next thing you know, I ended up going to East Tennessee State University for 2 summers. So I did 1 year of working boring master stuff, and then the following summer, I won't go through all the details, I didn't even know this could happen. I didn't know you could get one of these, but I ended up getting a master's in storytelling. East Tennessee State University offers a master's in storytelling, and since I was teaching drama, and since I was teaching at a Title I school, the federal government forgave $5,000 of student debt to me because I was teaching at a Title I school, and I ended up getting a master's in storytelling. On paper, it looked like a master's in reading, but you could get a storytelling concentration. That's how they got around it. But it was like the coolest degree. But my first summer up there, I'd been up there about a week, and then, I mean, this has happened to me before, back in the 80s. But I was not expecting it because I wasn't in a church setting. I wasn't even really seeking. I was just working on a master's in storytelling. But my dog showed up in my life. I got so drunk, and I wasn't taking anything. I wasn't on anything, but I was drunk for like a week and a half. I mean, I couldn't sit still. I'm like rocking back and forth for days, you know. Or if I tried to stand still, I would fall over on my face. And then I'm laughing at stuff that's totally not funny, but it's just, you know, because it feels so good, you know. It's just, but I don't know if you've ever heard of being drunk in the spirit or whatever. You might see things on TV that, oh, that's fake, whatever, and there might be, but I'm telling you, the experience is real. I've experienced it before, and I experienced it then, again, when I was in the storytelling program, and it was really, really powerful. All I know is the first week I was up there, my department head, he was brand new to the storytelling. I mean, he's got a PhD in whatever, you know, but he was new to East Tennessee State University, so we were all new together. But yeah, I told a couple of stories my first week up there, and he's yelling at me, "No, John, no!" You know, because I'm a drama teacher, right? And he's like, to me, this is how I interpret it, it's like he was stripping away the performer to get to the heart of a storyteller, right? And then this experience happens to me. And like the next week or the week after, you know, I'm finishing stories, he's in tears. He's so moved. That's how, and I mean, it happened that quickly. You know, he's in tears by the time I finish my stories. You know. Anyways, it was really, really powerful. I knew something would have. I didn't know what it was. So now, 11 years later, my life had totally fallen apart. You know, and Mrs. X had left me. You know, and it was. There's so much I'm leaving out, but just know that it was October 20th, 2011. It's about 4:30 in the morning. I had to teach the next day, but I couldn't get any sleep. It's about 4:30 in the morning. And I'm listening to an audio book. I'll tell you more about that story later. But all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, just thoughts with authority and clarity. There's a reason this happened to you. The story's unfolding. No, it was more like there's a reason I poured out my Holy Spirit on you. The story's unfolding. And that was 11 years earlier. And then the audiobook I was listening to immediately confirmed it. And I knew I was to finish the school year and then quit. But it's like there's a reason I poured out my Holy Spirit on you in the storytelling program, and then just in a split second I had the realization that I'm going to make so much more money than I ever would as a school teacher. Hasn't happened yet. It's okay. It's okay. If it never happens, it's okay. I'm not a school teacher anymore. Oh God. I ended up living out of my car for a year at one point. That's so much less stressful than being a public school teacher. Just living out of my car, not teaching school, no longer teaching with A1 because I've been telling stories I shouldn't, and then I had the classroom help. Ended up delivering to Marcos. So you'll hear me, at times, you'll hear me tell bits and pieces. And a lot of it will be laying a foundation. And nobody knows the whole story. I know the whole story, and even I don't know the whole story. I know the whole story so far. But there's more to come that I don't even know about, and it's okay. So I'll give you a small taste of this happens to me all the time. Or to an extent. Okay. So that happened on October 20, 2011. That's a really important day. I didn't realize how important that day was. March 11, 2014. 311. There's a bank on 311. I didn't know that at the time. I thought, anyways. That was a Tuesday night. In a room smaller than this. My church that I used to go to in Snellville, they meet on Tuesday nights. And a handful of people will show up. But that night, my pastor was like, we're supposed to go to Dunkin' Donuts. So I went to Dunkin' Donuts. And there was a couple of new people that came. One person had been there before, and this person brought a friend with her. And so we were at Dunkin' Donuts, and the friend, and it was a black lady from North Carolina. I'd never seen this lady before or since. It was just that one night. I don't know her last name. Never talked to the lady again. I don't know how to. I guess I could get in touch with her, but it's okay. I could find someone who wanted to get me in touch with her. But at one point, the lady looked at me across the table at Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm going to quote her, so I'm going to say God. I'm not going to say dog. She said, "You have been pulling on God for revelation." And she's staring at me. You have been pulling on God for revelation. You have been asking God for revelation. You have been asking Him for revelation. God wants to know, what are you going to do with it? And everybody kind of sitting around, they were just like, looking at me. Whoa. Use it for His glory, maybe? Okay. So did I pass this? Not a test. God just wants to know what you're going to do with the revelation. About 20 minutes later, it was the most powerful encounter of my entire life. and I received revelation. I know the end of the story. Here's the point I'm getting at. There's a lot that happened that day, a lot, but here's one thing that happened. And a lot of this I didn't see for the longest time. I saw it later. But here's one thing that happened. And even then I didn't see for 6 months. Okay. It was the most powerful encounter, and then I had to know, am I really hearing from you? So I had to know that I had to know that I had to know. So then on 3/21, at 3:21 in the morning, I knew, beyond all shadow of a doubt. And I've known ever since then. 3/21, by the way, is my oldest grandson's birthday. So I have 6 grandchildren. Every one of their birthdays is significant. It speaks of the story, and at least 2 of the names are very, 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 very significant in my whole story. So that's part of it too. That's part of the interwovenness of this whole thing. But yeah, I knew on 3/21. Now. And then the next day, my mom calls up and says, I'm going to give you my car, because I'm totally surprised. Yeah. My mom got to the point where she couldn't drive anymore. She had a nice car. She wanted to give it to me. And I'm like, Mom, thank you so much. I'm thinking, duh. I need a new car. I know the revelation, you know. And so, anyways. And then the next day, I left my jacket. It was a Sunday night. The church I went to only met on Sunday nights. We didn't meet on Sunday mornings. Great schedule for someone teaching DUI class. Oh, I can teach Sunday mornings. Go to church on Sunday nights. I left my jacket in the church that night. And it was just my pastor and I said, oh, let me back in. I left my jacket. And I told him, I said, if you only knew the revelation that's been going on with me. And I went to hug my pastor, and then I started weeping, and then he started speaking over me. Things that only I knew about because of the confirmation. He had no idea what he was speaking. He was just speaking. And the only thing that didn't make sense was he said 3:14. 3:14. Verse. Maybe a date. I don't know. I just speak. I will come back to 3:14 later on that. Just know, I just wanted to plant that seed in you, okay? The next day, I'm thinking about all this, and I'm thinking back to the day where this revelation happened to me. And I'm thinking, 3:11. 3:11. I think there's a band called 3:11. And I look up, and there is. You're a 3:11 fan.
Oh, yeah.
So is Adam Sandler.
Oh, did not know that.
Oh, yeah. If you've ever seen 50 First Dates.
Huh?
Yeah. So there's 2 or 3 3:11 songs in there, right? Yeah, so Adam Sandler's a 3:11 fan. Anyways, what I didn't know, it was like 6 months later, I'm looking through 3:11 discography. They released an album that day. That this happened to me, 3/11/2014, right? And it was their 11th album. And you turn the album over, and there's 15 songs played. Now, 3:11's notorious for always putting in bonus track. Okay, we're not talking bonus track. We're talking about the stuff that's listed. Okay, so there's 15 songs. Now, 3 plus 11 is 14, right? So you have the first 3 songs, then you have the 4th song, then you have the last 11 songs. The 4th song. Now, guys, remember, this album was released the day this woman is speaking to me. The 4th song on this 3:11 album, the album's called Stereolithic. You probably heard it. Okay? You have the first 3 songs, the last 11 songs, and the 4th song, sandwiched between the 3 and the 11, is a song called Revelation of the Year. Okay, that type of thing happens to me over and over and over and over and over. Yeah, well, it's just coincidence. Sure. Except it's one on top of another, on top of another. It's just like, you know, and then you have, and there's templates of timelines and time periods and it's just like, and eventually people were like, okay, that's too many coincidences. Okay, there may actually be something going on here. So that's just an example. That's an example. So, you guys have done well. Take yourselves a well-deserved break. We will get back to curriculum when you get back. John Perkins, Cinco de Mayo. That's the whole thing was Cinco de Mayo.